When a sick sea lion is rescued by the SeaWorld team in Southern California, the first order of business is to get her well again. But as she improves, they discover her strong maternal instincts provide much-needed comfort to the other young sea lions already in their care. It's the heartwarming story of Strut, the motherly sea lion. Tide pools are like little treasure chests scattered around our seashores. Look inside, and you'll find all sorts of colorful marine life. Shore crabs, sea urchins, and barnacles clinging to the rocks. But when the SeaWorld rescue team responds to reports of a sea lion lying motionless next to a tide pool in Ocean Beach, California, at first, not even sure this animal is alive.
There were several citizens that had called this animal in, and they were actually concerned that the animal was dead. And what we saw was an animal that was extremely lethargic, and that was very concerning to us because this told us right away this animal needed our help.
I think what we can do, we'll get her in this.
The team decides to use 2 big nets to rescue the sea lion, and they'll need to get in close without scaring the animal off.
These animals don't understand that we're trying to help them, so when we attempt to rescue them, the first thing they do is head for the water.
All right, so what you're gonna wanna do, Nicole, is come up this way, behind her.
It's a challenge getting the big, heavy animal in the net because the wet rocks in the tide pool are slippery, and she's just a few feet from a steep drop to the pounding surf.
So if the sea lion makes a bid for the ocean, there's no guarantee it's not going to take a rescuer in the water with it.
The experienced rescuers make a calculated move to ensure the safety of the workers and the animal. They get the first net over the animal. Now they want to slide the second net underneath her. But this is a full-grown sea lion, so they have to be very careful.
And we really took our time and worked slowly to make sure this animal was safely secured in the net. And then we actually looped and tied 2 nets together so that we knew that the animal was safe and it wasn't going to come out of the net.
With the sea lion secure, the team has to carefully navigate around the tide pools and then up this rugged hillside. When they get to their truck, they notice the female sea lion has cuts on her head and neck from bumping up against the rocks. When they put her in a transport carrier, she gets a sudden burst of energy, and this gives the SeaWorld team a big clue about why she's stranded.
An animal that goes from extreme lethargy to extremely active can sometimes be suffering from a toxin poisoning.
1, 2.
The rescue team transports her back to SeaWorld San Diego so veterinarians can check her for toxin levels. They suspect she may have ingested high levels of a substance called domoic acid. It's a powerful poison that occurs naturally in the ocean.
It's a toxin that's produced by certain types of algae, and they can accumulate in fish. When the sea lions eat fish that are laden with domoic acid, they can have visual deficits, appear to walk almost drunkenly, and the most common sign that we see is seizures.
Sadly, some sea lions don't survive this poison's harmful effects, and it has no antidote. So the rehab team has no choice but to let the toxin flush out of this sea lion's body naturally. In the meantime, they've got to keep her hydrated and strong.
Okay, I got really good flow. Good.
When we rescued this female, she was underweight. She was thin, and we knew we needed to get some weight back on her.
Coming up, does this sick sea lion have the strength to beat this deadly toxin? And later, a dolphin strands on a crowded beach.
Its chances of survival are very slim to none.
Can the SeaWorld rescue team help this sick dolphin beat the odds? A sick and injured female sea lion is recovering at SeaWorld San Diego after being rescued from a rocky beach. At 135 pounds, she is seriously underweight. She should weigh about 200 pounds.
The first thing we want to do is see if this animal's going to eat on its own. She did not, so that was very concerning to us.
The team suspects this animal is suffering from domoic acid poisoning. a potentially life-threatening toxin which occurs naturally in the ocean.
Okay, and I'm gonna have you pinch off, okay? Yep, go ahead.
The team treats the wounds to her face and neck caused by those jagged rocks.
Make another new needle.
Yeah.
And they give her fluid subcutaneously, which means under her skin. Then it's a case of wait and see if her condition improves.
We continued to monitor her for several days, and after 2 to 3 days, she did start eating on her own, which was great.
Veterinarians are heartened to see that the symptoms of domoic acid poisoning are gone.
She needed our help, and if we can give her just a couple days, a couple weeks, or whatever she needs to just recover, we're happy to do that.
It just so happens that at the same time they're caring for this sea lion, SeaWorld San Diego is full of rescued sea lion pups. These little guys, all under a year old, were rescued from beaches up and down Southern California in one of the worst years on record for pup strandings. The rehab team figures these junior patients could use a little motherly love, and that's when something amazing happens. When they put this recovering sea lion in with the pups, her maternal instincts kick in, and she seems to adopt the little ones.
This sea lion is extremely tolerant of other young animals running all over her, walking all over her, which tells us that she most likely was a mother before she came to us.
It's an amazing transformation. This animal was once close to death, but now she's such a proud foster mom to these pups, the team comes up with a special name for her.
We like to call her Strut because she was the matriarch of the rehab pool we had her in, and she liked to strut around with those little pups.
This mom-pup relationship doesn't just benefit the little ones. While Strut's sharing a pool with all these peppy pups, she has to compete with them for fish.
What she proved is that she was very competitive with those other yearling California sea lion pups she was in with, and she gained that 70 to 75 pounds back, and that was extremely exciting for us.
Strut takes another big step towards being healthy enough to be returned to the Pacific. The SeaWorld team is confident that Strut is completely healthy, free from the effects of domoic acid.
Perfect.
And so about 2 months after she arrived, team members take her back to the beach.
Strut is brought to the Borderfield State Park, which is on the United States and Mexico border. This is a great place for Strut to be returned.
And sure enough, Strut lives up to her name as she struts down the sand back to her ocean home.
To be able to give this animal a second chance at life, and to see her with all her weight gain strutting down that beach, heading off towards the Coronado Islands, where we know there's a California sea lion rookery, that was great to see.